Hello guys, my name's Dean and welcome to my review for Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is an action first-person shooter with some horror and survival elements, and it is a direct sequel to Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Yet again, you enter the shoes of our somewhat non-speaking protagonist Artyom as he seeks a better life outside of the Moscow Metro, for himself and for his wife Anna. So as a diehard Metro fan myself, I have to say, I had a lot of expectations for this game, and I was afraid that the 6-year gap from Last Light would hurt the game. But it brings me joy to say that this game is a true gem inside of the video game market that often throws quality and care to the First off, let's get the visuals out of the way, because quite frankly, they are outstanding. From the snowy wasteland of Moscow to the sands of the Russian desert and the beautiful Russian wilderness, this game is so wonderful to look at. And quite frankly, it is no surprise that a game franchise that prides itself on its revolutionary graphics nails it out of the park again. Now, I played on a base PS4 and I only found a few graphical issues, such as a few low textures in some areas, especially when you are crawling through tight spaces. But that is a nitpick, and as a whole, this is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. And if you play it on a PC, an Xbox One X, or a PS4 Pro, it's going to look even better. Metro's gameplay has always been very unique part of the series. Its very clunky gunplay can often scare many gamers off. And while I personally love it, it is a different feeling to that of Call of Duty or Apex. I do understand some people's dislike with the gunplay, yet I guarantee you will get used to the much slower pace very quickly. The stealth returns slightly improved, but mostly as before. Also, Exodus introduces a new crafting system, which will have you searching for crafting materials that you can use to create ammo, medkits, and other useful items. Also, Exodus introduces a new system of highly customizing your guns. This system lets you take a revolver, for instance, and turn it into a sniper rifle on the fly. Or lets you take an assault rifle and turn it into an LMG in a matter of seconds. This is by far the most unique change from the prior two games. Now, I have to mention the difficulty and AI. First off, try to play this game on a higher difficulty, as the AI can be quite stupid on the reader and easy difficulties, and the loot is way too plentiful for my liking. I found the normal difficulty to be a happy medium, and the best choice for our first run-through. The hardcore difficulty is, well, hardcore, but if you want a true Metro experience, you have to play the game on the Ranger hardcore difficulty, which removes much of your HUD and makes ammo and resources so much more scarce, and makes the AI vastly more intelligent. So Exodus is the first main departure for the franchise, as it breaks the mold of the prior games by going semi-open world, with multiple open zones for you to explore. And I must say, it works perfectly for me. The seasons are a welcome change for a franchise that has often been very dark and gloom. And while the world still has its very dark moments, this game gives much needed variation. The world is filled with interesting quests that don't feel like fetch quests. Now, I could see how going semi-open world could be a point of contention in many people's eyes, because it is a large departure. But to me, there are only a set number of stories you can tell in a Metro system. So I'm glad that they took the jump out of the Metros, still early in the franchise, before it's too late. And this world that they've crafted feels so alive in its dead way. It's just a great job overall. So the length of this game can vary depending on how you play. If you plan to play just the story with limited side quests, I expect it will take you 15 to 20 hours on normal difficulty. But if you play as I did, which was going through the majority of the side quests and just exploring, it'll probably take you 30 to 40 hours. I believe I clocked in at about 35-ish hours, and there were a few things left for me to do. But if you play at the hardcore Ranger difficulty, I can honestly see someone's playtime in the 60 to 70 hour mark. Now, onto the story, and I'll keep this as spoiler-free as possible, so don't worry. As I had said earlier, this game takes place when Artyom believes that there must be a better place to live outside of the Metros. And after certain events, our protagonist, as well as some Spartans, go on a journey to find a better life outside of the Metros. Now, while the story is rather simplistic, I don't find that as much of an issue, as it is a game that relies heavily on characters, of which there are many memorable ones, such as Anna, Miller, and many more, which are voice acted very well. Now, I believe that the game is rather predictable at times, which doesn't help it. But honestly, I don't believe it hurts it too much either. Also, depending on how you play, there are two main endings, of which are vastly different and unique. And something I have to say, and it's something I think Red Dead 2 did so well, it's this feeling of suspense at certain parts of the story in which there's stakes that are serious and real. And there'll be a point where it's like, is this going to be the outcome? Is something going to happen that I don't want to happen? It's really well crafted. Now, you may ask, should I buy this game if I haven't played through the prior Metro games? And the answer is 100% yes. But I would advise anyone who picks up this game, regardless of if you have played the prior games or not, to watch a quick recap video on YouTube of 2033 and Last Light, as it will catch you up to speed on who all the characters are and some of the lore behind the franchise, and it will make your overall experience in the game so much better. Now, it is important to know that this game isn't for everyone, as it is meant for a niche market, and it doesn't pander to the more casual base as much as many other games. If you aren't always paying attention, you could easily lose track of what you are supposed to be doing, and often important cues are mentioned real quick in dialogue and never mentioned again. Now, we must talk about the faults of the game. First off, while I don't have many bugs in my playthrough, I did have one main issue where I fell under the map, because the game has an excellent save system, so I only lost a minute or two of time. Also, the game is very animation heavy, quite like that of Red Dead 2, but sometimes some of these animations can be a bit finicky, especially as you're taking someone out hand to hand. Also, I got stuck on some objects, which sometimes got frustrating, especially in combat. But I would say the thing that is most frustrating, and I get that this is a personal issue, is why doesn't Artyom speak outside of his journal? Like, I get it, but I've personally never been a fan of silent protagonists, and I don't understand why they keep him silent during the game when they have a perfectly good voice actor who's done a great job in the past games as well as this one. And I believe the dialogue, especially in two specific relationships, could be so much better. I get it is a creative decision, but I personally disagree with it, and I hope they change this in the next game. But nevertheless, when Artyom does speak in his journal, he is very good. And on the topic of his journal, the game includes a detailed weapon breakdown, bestiary, and character breakdown, which is a nice detail to the game. Finally, though, this game shows to me that these developers care. There are no junk loot boxes, no paying for difficulty option, and yes, I'm looking at Last Light. And with the exception to the BS Epic Game Store controversy, I just see care given to this franchise. The other day I saw a YouTube comment that said something along the lines of, all critics will give this game an 8, which is a solid rating. But for the true fans of Metro, and fans of video games as an art, this game is without a doubt a 10 out of 10. And to me, that's what it is. Sure, it ain't perfect, but it sure is amazing. And it is a game that every gamer must play. And I cannot wait for whatever the expansion pass brings and the future games in this franchise. Thank you so much for watching, guys, as this took me a rather long time to make considering I suck at editing. But I just wanted to share my review of this game because it is so good. And please tell me in the comments what your opinion is, your rating of this game, anything I missed. And I don't usually ask for subs, but feel free if you want more reviews on movies, games, and TV shows. And guys, honestly, have an excellent day. I'll see you later.